Just before you begin assembling the pool wall, carefully unpack the liner and spread it out in a protected area in the sun. This will help you remove any wrinkles later, but be careful not to leave it too long or it could scorch the grass underneath it. Place a large sheet of cardboard or square of plywood in the center of the pool area and place the rolled up pool wall on it. Be sure to look for the "this way up" arrow. Cut the packing strap, being careful not to scratch the pool wall, and begin uncoiling the roll. This will make it easier to handle and install. Do not attempt to install the pool wall on a windy day, and if possible, get several neighbors or friends to help. Uncoil the wall until you reveal the skimmer cutouts. Ensure the skimmer is on one of the round ends directly across from the most prevalent wind direction. The end of the wall must be placed directly over one of the base plates in order to hide the wall seam behind an upright. Slide the wall edge into the groove in the base rail. You can temporarily hold the wall end in place by placing a stepladder over the wall and duct taping the wall to the ladder. As you install a section of the pool wall, cover the top edge with slotted tubes. Be sure to use a buttress tube over the rails between buttresses. These are color-coded or identified by part number specifically for your pool size. Use transition tubes over the transition base rails and end tubes over the end rails. These tubes are color-coded or identified by part number. Slide a slotted tube connector over the end of the slotted tube and slide the next tube into the other end of the connector, leaving a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter gap between each tube. Make sure the gap is directly above the base plate. At the buttress verticals, the space between the transition tube and buttress tubes, or between two buttress tubes, will be about 4 inches or 10 centimeters. These are joined using a plastic tube connector, which is inserted into the ends of the transition and buttress tubes. Duct tape the pool wall to the uprights temporarily to help hold the wall in place. Continue uncoiling the wall, moving the cardboard or plywood as necessary, and continuing to add slotted tubes and slotted tube connectors on the top edge. When you reach the end, you may find the pool wall overlaps or doesn't quite meet. If the wall overlaps, remove the wood pieces and tap gently at the base plates on the round ends from the inside of the pool to make the semicircles larger. If the wall doesn't meet, tap the base plates on the round ends from the outside to make the semicircles smaller. Place a screwdriver through 2 of the holes near the top and bottom to help bring the wall into alignment. Join the ends of the pool wall with a bolt and nut through each hole. Insert the bolts from inside the pool and install the nuts on the outside. Tighten each nut and bolt securely, being careful not to strip the bolt heads, which could leave a metal burr and damage your liner. Cover the bolt heads with duct tape. Now check whether the wall is level. You can do this with your transit or with a line level. The entire pool must be level to within 1 inch or 25 millimeters. If it's not, you must take the wall apart and re-level the foundation before proceeding. Now recheck each base plate. It must be centered on a patio stone or limestone pad, and the base rails should meet in the center of this plate and be about 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters apart. Recheck the slotted tubes to ensure they are about 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters apart and are joined with a slotted tube connector centered over a base plate. You can ensure they stay in place by taping the connectors and tubes to the pool wall with a short length of duct tape. If you are using styrofoam for your pool bottom, reinstall the pieces now and cover all the seams where the styrofoam sheets meet with strips of duct tape. If you are using sand, smooth it out right up to the base rails and tamp it down slightly to produce a smooth, level surface. Whether you use sand or styrofoam, you must construct a cove of brick sand around the inside bottom of the pool wall. This is an important part of the pool structure because it redistributes the pressure of the water on the bottom edge of the pool wall. The cove should be about 8 inches or 20 centimeters wide and 6 inches or 15 centimeters high. Where the buttress uprights make the pool wall scallop slightly, this cove will be a little narrower and a little shorter to maintain the horizontal line of the cove. Pack the brick sand firmly into shape and smooth it out evenly. Before installing the liner, you must install the wall saver gasket in the skimmer cutout. This gasket is an important watertight seal around the skimmer and provides protection against corrosion. Spread the 2 layers of the gasket apart gently and insert it into the skimmer so that it sandwiches the pool wall. Be careful not to damage the seam, or you'll have to get a replacement from your pool dealer. Here's a great hint to help make installing the liner easier. Place a piece of cardboard over the wall saver gasket on the outside of the pool and seal it in place with duct tape. Thread the hose of a shop vac through the skimmer return hole until it's 6 inches or 15 centimeters above the top edge of the cove. Seal the skimmer return hole with duct tape. Fold up the pool liner and place it carefully over the pool wall. You'll require several lengths of plastic coping, which you'll find in your pool kit. Start draping the vinyl liner over the pool wall and hold it in place by pressing down several inches of the plastic coping. Continue around the pool, draping the liner over the wall and adding the plastic coping until you have the entire liner in place. Now start the shop vac. What this does is draw the air out from between the liner and the wall, allowing you to more easily position the liner and remove the wrinkles. Using a soft bristled broom, tap lightly on the liner until you have the bottom seam positioned evenly on top of the sand cove. When most of the wrinkles are gone and the liner is in the correct position, begin filling the pool with enough water to cover the bottom only to a depth of about 1 foot or 30 centimeters. Shut off the vacuum, remove the hose, and unseal the skimmer and skimmer return. Starting one piece at a time, remove the coping, smooth out the liner, and reinstall the coping along its entire length. Continue working around the pool, smoothing out the wrinkles, adjusting the liner, and installing the coping. When you reach the end, carefully trim off any excess coping so there is no overlap. Roll up any liner that hangs below the coping, rolling to the inside as shown. This will prevent water being trapped in the rolled up liner, which could cause unwelcome odors. Tape the rolled up liner in place with small pieces of duct tape. Make sure you do not trim or cut off the excess liner. Select a vertical column from your parts kit. The top of the column has 3 drilled holes, while the bottom has only 2. Press the bottom of the column over the 2 small tabs on the base plate. Line up the screw holes and fasten in place with 2 self-tapping screws. Your pool is supplied with 2 styles of top plates. The rectangular plate goes over a buttress vertical, while the triangular one goes over the regular verticals like the one you just installed. Using the pattern on the pool wall or a level, make sure the columns are straight up and down. Hook the top plate over the edge of the pool wall and press it down over the vertical so the tabs are on the inside of the vertical. Fasten the top plate with 3 self-tapping screws. Add a vertical to each base plate. Now add the top plates over the buttress verticals by hooking the plate over the pool rail and pressing it down over the vertical with the tabs of the plate over top of the column. Ensure the column is vertical and fasten the plate with 3 self-tapping screws. There are 4 top rails to your pool that are a slightly different shape and are marked underneath with a red dot. These are the transition rails and are installed as the first top rail on each round end between a buttress vertical and a regular vertical column. The buttress top plates have a series of holes marked A and B. Only the transition rail is fastened to the buttress top plate through the holes marked B. Buttress rails are fastened through the holes marked A. Secure with 2 self-tapping screws, but do not tighten any of them fully just yet. Install the buttress rails first, and then the transition rails, before installing all the other top rails. Once you have all the top rails loosely fastened in place, adjust the rails to line up evenly about 1/16 inch or 2 millimeters apart and tighten the screws securely. Hook a top connector over the inside edge of the top rail and press the connector down over the rail, snapping the tabs under the outer edge. Now fill your pool completely to within 2 inches or 5 centimeters of the lowest skimmer opening and follow the instructions which came with your skimmer, pump, and filter kits. As an important safety measure, apply the 4 no diving, no jumping labels that have been supplied with your kit to the top rails. Spread them evenly around the pool. Post the vinyl safety sign that has also been supplied so that it is visible at the point of entry of your pool. Congratulations on your successful installation of an Atlantic Channel Lock 2 above ground pool.